Hey, hope everyone's doing well. Today we are doing the June 2023 New Hampshire real estate update, going over the numbers from May this month. To start off, median sales price for a single family in New Hampshire was $465,000. That is an all-time record as far as I can tell. And the median condo also set a record for $400,000 median sales price. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the numbers from the counties of Hillsborough, Merrimack, and Rockingham. I haven't done Rockingham in the past, but we're adding it to this video and the future videos to come. And I'm still covering my top 3 towns, Bow, Bedford, and Hooksett. At the end of this video, I'm also going to talk about my predictions for what lies ahead of the next 3 months in the overall trends that I'm seeing in the market. Hillsborough County, definitely the outlier this month. Closed sales up by 63. Median sales price up by 36,000. Days on market was down slightly. New listings up by 60. And percent of list price received up 1.2%. Year to date, as you see, we're still way down on closed sales. Median sales price in Hillsborough County, just about flat year over year. Days on market year over year, up 35%. New listings year over year, down 22%. And percent of list price received down 3%. This is just about what we expected. Honestly, new listings in closed sales still down more than I expected in general. I'm gonna see, hopefully this picks up the next month or two. Alright, before we get into Merrimack, I think I forgot to point out that Hillsborough was the only county when the median sales price actually went up last month. So for Merrimack County, closed sales up by 31, median sales price was down by 37,500. Days on market was down by 18. We're sitting at just over 2 weeks average days on market in Merrimack County. New listings was up by 24 for 160 on the month. And percent of list price received went up by 3%, which is pretty substantial. Well over 100% in Merrimack County now. Year to date, same story across the state. Closed listings still way down by 22% in Merrimack County. Median sales price is actually up comparative to Hillsborough County, up 5% year over year. Which is keeping right steady with inflation, which has been pretty much my base case for most of the beginning of this year. Days on market up by 28%. We're sitting at just over 2 weeks now in Merrimack County. I actually think this is a pretty decent place for everyone to be at. It was down way too far last year at this time, and if you guys can remember, things were being sold next day. So this gives buyers and sellers a little more time to breathe, which I actually like. New listings down 25.4% on the year, which is still a staggering statistic. And percent of list price received still down 4% year over year. Last but not least, I want to talk about Rockingham County. Actually, the first time I've talked about Rockingham County. Actually, before we get started, Rockingham County had a big month. Probably the best performing county out of the 3 I looked at. Closed sales up by 63. Median sales price was down by just under 14,000. Days on market was down by only 1, but new listings up by 104, which is definitely the largest of any of the counties that I've looked at. And percent of list price received still up 1.1%, which is pretty good considering all the new listings that have come online. Also worth noting that pending sales was up 76 in the month of May. But year to date, still down like the rest of the state. Not quite as bad as Merrimack and Hillsborough County. But closed sales down 20.6% year to date. Median sales price up by 3% year to date. Days on market up by almost 15%. And then new listings down just under 20% year to date. And percent of list price received down 4% year to date. With that being said, Rockingham County still over 100% of the list price received, which is still very good. And overall, it's really promising to see that kind of volume coming on from them. And they're still seeing price appreciation year to date, which is great, especially considering how much rates have increased since May of last year. So it's still putting sellers in a good position to get maximum value for their property. Now we're going to get into my three favorite towns: Bow, Bedford, and Hooksett. Alrighty, so the town of Hooksett kind of reverted back to where I thought it should be for the most part. Closed sales up by 3 for 10 on the month. Median sales price went down by almost 113,000. Hooksett was up at like 620,000, which was just way too high for Hooksett. So they're down at 107.5 thousand median sales price. Days on market down by 22 to 7. New listings down by 2 for 14 on the month. And percent of list price received up by 7.1 to get them just over 105% of the list price received. Year to date, one of the few towns where closed sales is positive on the year. Median sales price up by 6.7% year to date. Days on market, which these year to dates are averages of the year. So days on market on average is still up by 115. But as you can see, that was a big outlier from what happened last month. And then new listings still down by 16% year to date. And percent of list price received down by just under 4% year to date. Like I said, this is a much better representation of Hooksett. I think the median sales price of just over 500,000 is right in the ballpark. I wouldn't even be surprised to see this tick back up to maybe 515 or 520. But this makes a lot more sense to me than the 620,000 number we saw last month. Alright, the town of Bedford, pretty average month I'd say overall, continuing the trend that we have been seeing and expecting. Closed sales up by 2 for 19 on the month. Median sales price up by 25,000 for 765,000 average median sales price in the month of May, which is great for Bedford residents. It's actually something I was a little bit surprised about, not to jump around, but to see the year to date in Bedford up 7.1%. Working in Bedford, I hear more people talk about the inventory, and I think it's a little overshadowed that Bedford's median sales price has actually gone up by 7.1%. You know, despite all the interest rate hikes, sellers are still getting top value for their properties, and with a median sales price of $765, I would imagine that most of those sellers in Bedford are very happy. But days on market down by 15 for 12 in the average of May. New listings had no change for 24 in the month of May. And then percent of list price received up just 0.4% month over month. Year to date, inventory still low. Closed sales down 13.3%. Like we already talked about, that median sales price up 7.1% year to date. Days on market, no change year over year. New listings down 20.7% year over year in Bedford. And percent of list price received is down year to date by 4.3%. And honestly, that, you know, as we talked about, even though the median sales price went up, with that percent over list price received going down, percent of list price received is still 100 and almost 103%. So things are still going for above asking in Bedford. but we're just seeing more appropriately priced properties. Now for my hometown of Bow. Bow had 3 more closed sales on the month for 8 total. Median sales price was down by $191,000, which is pretty outstanding. But the median sales price in May in Bow was $425,000, which is super low for Bow. They might have had some lower end homes come online, maybe some homes that need a little more work. That's definitely something I'm going to dive into on a different video. Along with, there was something that surprised me in the year-over-year numbers. Year-to-date, closed sales have been down 30%, which is substantial. I mean, that's almost 1/3 the closed sales year-to-date. But new listings was up 8.7%. So on a different video, I'll probably dive into these both statistics a little bit more. But back to where we were at, new listings up by 6 for 20 on the month, which is actually a lot for Bow. Percent of list price received up by 6.1%, so they are up over 105% of list price received in the month of May. Like we just talked about, year to date, closed sales down by 28%. Median sales price up by 8.1%, which is a good increase for anyone looking to sell in Bow. Days on market down by 67.1%. Bow's days on market got pretty arbitrarily high due to some listings that sat. I think maybe some new constructions as well. And then new listings up 8.7%. And then percent of list price received down 5.4% year-over-year, year to date. Now we're going to get into my predictions for the next 3 months. Alright, last section of the video. I like to go over what my outlook is for the next 3 months. I only like to go 3 months out, just because once you get past 3 months, you're really just guessing. In general, I think we're going to continue to follow the same trend we have the past couple months. The seasonal inventory increase is coming to an end. Like I said, we were going over the May numbers. I bet you into June we might continue to see an increase in new listings and closed sales, and then as July, August come around, new listings are going to go down, followed then by closed sales. I think that median sales price is going to continue pretty much flat or slightly up with the rate of inflation. The only way I see this really changing is if the Fed pivots and interest rates drop off. As long as the unemployment rate stays up and rates come down, I think we'll see a higher median sales price because that gives the buyer more purchasing power. Days on market, I think, is going to stay flat or come down in the case that, like I was saying, if the Fed drops rates and the unemployment rate stays the same. The past couple videos I thought we'd have a few more scary economic headlines. I haven't seen anything yet. All has been quiet on the small bank front, but we're just halfway through June at this point. I think into July and August we might see a little more of that, but that could be further down the line. But we're pretty tight on the supply side still, so I don't see any sort of a crash coming in the immediate future. But it's definitely something to keep a watch out for. I mean, prices are definitely at all-time highs here in New Hampshire, but I think we're going to continue to stay on this trend, and the supply side is going to keep us pretty in line with what we've been seeing, at least for the short-term future. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, please reach out. My information is going to be below. If you guys have any towns you'd like me to add or any counties you'd like me to go over, drop a comment. I appreciate any and all feedback. Thank you.